Good morning, YouTubians. It's Kermits Ghost. You can call me Alan, and today I'm going to be showing you my horror collection, the A's and the B's of my collection. I've been asked to do this a couple of times, and it's been a long time coming, so I'm going to get on with it straight away. I'll give you a little synopsis of each film. There may be a couple missing, either people have borrowed them, or I've got a couple of big piles of films, maybe like 1,500 of films piled up in different rooms, and they may be in there and it's too difficult to find, but I'll tell you which ones are missing. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I wouldn't really call this a horror, but it's got vampires in it. It's Abraham Lincoln Hunting Vampires, written by Seth Graham Smith. The book is brilliant. It's actually better than the film. It's told by a viewpoint of a guy called Henry, and who was like a friend and bodyguard kind of thing to Abraham Lincoln, an immortal. And this is a great film, great in 3D as well. Recommend this one if you like vampires and Abraham Lincoln. That's the film for you. All the boys love Mandy Lane. Mandy Lane, played by Amber Heard. She just wants to be make friends, so she goes to this party. Everybody's lusting after, well, all the boys are lusting after her. Gets out of hand, the advances, and she doesn't partake in the drugs and the alcohol, and that makes her kind of more desirable to people. Alien. Everybody knows the Alien franchise. This is, for me, the best one, without a doubt. Second one is close, I'll give it that, but this one for me is the best one. Sigourney Weaver and the crew. Second one, directed by James Cameron. This is a great film, more action orientated. Love the fact they use practical effects in these films. Very, very good. This is where they start going downhill a little bit. This is set on a prison planet. Charles Dance is like the head doctor in this. Sigourney Weaver. There's aliens loose. They have no weapons, and so they have to rely on like their minds on these down and outs, shall I say, that living on this prison planet. And Sigourney Weaver's out. I can't remember why she's there. Does she land there? I can't remember, but the aliens won't attack her, but for good reason. I won't spoil it. Alien Resurrection. Ships are brought into this like it's kind of like a docking station lab thing, and they're brought there really as under false pretenses, because they're going to be hosts to aliens that are being experimented on there. Very good film. You got Ron Perlman in this and Winona Ryder. I like it. I like it. Alien Covenant. This was a Ridley Scott film. I think the first one was as well, wasn't it? It annoyed me in places like the scientists. They took no precautions when they went to an alien planet. They're not wearing gloves and stuff. They're like sweeping their hands through plants and tickling the aliens, and you know, you think you'd know better. And Danny McBride, who plays the captain of the ship, he ignores all orders from the ship and goes below like certain heights and endangers everybody. Alien versus Predator. This is the one where they find a pyramid under the ice, and it's a training ground for predators, and there are aliens in there, a queen alien and the eggs. So, and people go down there to obviously to explore this this sort of charted pyramid under the ice, and obviously what happens. AVP2 Requiem. I like this one. This is there's a scene in this that I find quite disturbing. In a hospital, the women pregnant, and the aliens sort of they're sort of putting these alien things down their throats, and ugh, horrible. Jason Bateman, American Psycho, played by Christian Bale. He's a Wall Street yuppie, and he's got a dark side to him. Let's just say he likes to dismember people. And cheat on his lovely fiance. American Werewolf in London. This is a great movie, and absolutely one of the best. for me, not the best, but it's close. American Werewolf in London, John Landis film. They should have just stuck to the path. Was it the Slaughtered Lamb, the pub, where they were telling them, stick to the path? But tourists, don't listen. Serves them right. This is an import of the Amityville Horror. James Brolin, Margot Kidder. Margaret Kidder is a name for you. Rod Steiger. Rod Steiger plays the priest. He comes to their house. He comes to James and Margot's house to bless it. Unbeknownst to him, it is extremely possessed by an evil entity, and it appears to him when he's trying to bless the room. They're all outside. The room becomes filled with flies, and the room tells him to get out, while the house tells him to get out. Love this film. Probably my favourite horror film. And then we had the remake with Ryan Reynolds and Melissa George. It's a decent film. Not as good as the first one, but if this was a standalone film, yeah, it works. This is an import. I don't know where from. Italy, maybe. But a decent film. Anaconda, Big Rubber Snake. John Voight, which is Angelina Jolie's dad. You got Eric Stoltz in this, Ice Cube, Jennifer Lopez, and Owen Wilson. Big Rubber Snake. And Soon the Darkness. You got Carl Urban in this. I'll come to him in a minute. You've got Amber Heard again, Odette Yutzman. They are arguing. They're in Argentina. They're arguing. They're like camping, arguing. One walks off to clear a head, comes back, and the other one's missing. So she goes to the police. The police are too busy, nothing to do with it. So she turns to Carl Urban's character, who is he what he seems? Is he really helping her? Annabelle. Now I've got all three Annabelles. What have we got here? Annabelle Creation. That should be first, then, shouldn't it? Or should it? I can't remember which one they go in. What's the one? I forget which one. I've got the one. I've seen the one with. I think I've seen them all. You got the one with the nun and the children turn up, and it sort of focuses on one girl, I believe, that sort of attacks them all, if you like. I saw that one recently. I think that was that one. And then it's a toy maker, isn't it? And then you've got the other one where they lock it in the glass cabinet, and it awakens all the other satanic elements in the house. I can't remember. They're all sort of blending into one. Annihilation. Now this is. Did I go through it? You got Annabelle Creation, and the other one's Homecoming. Is that right? Anyway, Natalie Portman in Annihilation. This was a Netflix exclusive, and it didn't look like it was getting a UK release, so I imported this one. I love this film. There's a meteorite or something hits the Earth, and it creates like a bubble over an area of like a town or something. So the military send people in. They go missing. So they call on one of the soldiers' wives. The soldier was Oscar Isaac, and his wife or girlfriend was Natalie Portman. So she goes in with a team of women. Once you go inside, like DNA is altered. You've got this creature like a bear, and it's got like a skull face, and it screams its last victim's cries for help. It's a weird but wonderful film. Recommend that one. Apollo 18, I know nothing about it, but it's got a big scary astronaut on the front there. Arachnophobia. Yes, this is what's his name? Jeff Daniels. I was getting mixed up with the other guy. Jeff Daniels, John Goodman. It's a fun film. You could show this to your kids quite easily. Well, unless they're scared of spiders, I guess. 8 legs, 2 fangs, and an attitude. Eight-legged freaks should get a Blu-ray release. But this is a fun one. An infestation of deadly spiders. As above, so below. Bunch of tourists trying to find treasure in the catacombs of Paris, and evil awaits them. Adult babies. Yeah, this was a limited edition. Do have the slip somewhere. Yeah, people again break into a house and there's adult babies in there, and they want to destroy the earth. That is directed by Paddy from Emmerdale. Dominic Brunt. Attack the Block. This is about aliens landing in the suburbs of London, and they fight. The kids of the local area fight back. You've got Nick Frost in this, and Jodie Whittaker. That's her name, Jodie Whittaker, the current Doctor Who. Autopsy of Jane Doe. Now, this is a father and son, morticians, and they get this body come to them, and she's intact. So she's intact apart from her insides. Her insides are all messed up, and there's no signs of how it was done. So, is it satanic? Is it like a cult? There you go. That's the Autopsy of Jane Doe. The Awakening. Now this is a great film. I love this film. This is Rebecca Hall. Is it? Yeah, Rebecca Hall, Dominic West. Rebecca Hall, she disproves paranormal activity. She goes to doing a seance, and she'll tell them how it's been done, and just to disprove it, because she's a non-believer. And Dominic West turns up at her house, and he's got a photograph he wants her to disprove, to put the students, because he works at school, he's a headmaster. He wants her to come and disprove this photograph and put the students' minds at ease. Now the photograph is of the whole school, the kids lined up outside, but there's a ghostly figure in the photograph, and this goes back like 40-50 years. These photographs, every photograph of the school, there's this ghostly figure either at the window or at both sides of the picture, during exposure. So he wants her to go and disprove it, come up with an explanation for it so that everybody can sleep well. And she goes to the school, and lo and behold, there is a ghost. The Babadook. We're on to the bees now. Wife, she's suffering because her husband died in horrific circumstances, and she has a 6-year-old son, Samuel, is it? Yeah, Samuel, and he has a book, and the book of, or rather, the book is sort of altering his personality. It's not what it seems, and she starts noticing his behaviour, and everything's different, and so she investigates the book, and the book is evil. The Babadook book. Banana Splits. Now I used to watch the TV show when I was a kid, and I found them terrifying then. But these are robots, and they hear that their TV show has been cancelled, and it just so happens that they have like a tour that day of these people come in to see the show being filmed, and they run amok. The Birds, Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. This is a great movie. This is a classic. Tippi Hedren, she is being pursued by birds. Well, everybody is, to be fair. It kind of reminds me of what's his name, M. Night Shyamalan and The Happening. No disrespect to Hitchcock there, but I like The Happening. It's nature fighting back, and who knows why. It's not explained why or what the motives are. They attack people, and it's as simple as that. Great film. Happens all the time in Brighton. Seagulls attacking people. Black Sheep. Yes, this guy who's terrified of sheep. He goes to back to his house. I think he inherits a farm, if I remember rightly. And somebody has unleashed a deadly sheep from the Angus laboratory down the road, and cannibalistic sheep. Black comedy, that one. Blade. Now, is this Marvel or Is it DC? I'm not sure. You probably hear my dog snoring. It's got one below me and one over on the chair. Yes, half human, half vampire, immortal vampire, and he slays, Wesley Snipes says, he slays evil vampires. The Blair Witch. This is set in the Black Hills, Dakota, I think. Pretty sure in Maryland. Yeah, 3 students. They go on. They're doing like a documentary on the Blair Witch, and they go up into the hills, into the forest with a map and provisions to sort of do a bit of background research on it, and it doesn't go to plan. Just saying that. They all turn on each other. The witch comes out at night with the story of the witch. She stole all the children from the village, I believe, and killed them all, and now they sort of her sort of minions. And you can hear them all at night, sort of running around the tent and leaving little piles of stones. Creepy as hell. When that came out, everybody thought it was true. And then we have the New Beginning, Blair Witch, like the reimagining, I don't know, or is it a sequel? I've not seen it. Oh, here we go, set 20 years after, and it's supposed to be the sister, the brother of Heather, who was in the first one. Steve McQueen's a blob, big gelatinous blob. Every time I see this now, I think of Monsters vs. Aliens and that big blob played by Seth Rogen. Classic. Bone Tomahawk in this lovely black case. You have Kurt Russell, Patrick Wilson, Matthew Fox from Lost, Richard Jenkins, great actor. Well, they're all great actors, to be honest. And they're off to sort of rescue some people that are in a cave with cannibals. The Boy. I watched this recently and I found it quite creepy in places. The story is you've got, what's her name? It's the woman who was in Lauren Cohen. She was in The Walking Dead. Now she gets a job looking after what she considers a boy. So she goes to the house and she gets a list of instructions, and it turns out the boy is this porcelain thing called Brahms, and it has a list saying you got to do this for it, you got to kiss it goodnight, tell it you love it, dress it, feed it, and all that crap. And she's like, yeah, okay, whatever. The parents go off and leave her with this doll for like a month or whatever, and she's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Leaves it in a corner, easy job, until things untoward start happening. Bear in mind it's only her and this doll in this huge creepy ass mansion. So she starts doing the rules. It says follow the rules. That's all she had to do, follow the rules. But all is not what it seems. Brightburn. I haven't seen this yet. I'm really looking forward to this. I should get my myself in gear and watch this. It's what if Superman, it's a sort of parallel thing, I believe, of Superman if he came down and he was evil. Great premise. Burke and Hare. This is the 2 guys that they were collecting cadavers, or bodies, dead bodies if you prefer, for the students at a Edinburgh medical facility, hospital, to practice autopsies and stuff like that, and see how the bodies were working, and you know, muscles and heart and all that sort of thing. But it doesn't really concentrate on that. It concentrates on how they get the cadavers. And first of all, they get like fresh ones from executions, and then because there's not enough executions, they start taking freshly buried bodies. And when that isn't lucrative, because a lot of the bodies are maggoty and things like that, and they want fresher ones, they decide to start killing. It's got Eutha Joyce in this from Georgia Mildred. The Burn-In. I saw this when I was like 12 on Pirate VHS back in the day. Yeah, and I haven't seen it since, but I remember there's a great scene with these shears in a young girl's stomach, and you know, you can imagine. Yeah, but if I remember rightly, it was some guy who was burnt or something. He was like a caretaker. Sounds a bit like Nightmare on Elm Street. Anyway, he comes back to this like camp and gets revenge. Bye-Bye Man, 2 students, and they discover the Bye-Bye Man, his name. Once you discover his name, he will come for you. So they've got to dispose of it before his name gets out and he wreaks havoc on everybody. So I'm just trying to pick off a sticker. I'll just put it in a new case. And the last one of the bees, Saoirse Ronan and Gemma Arterton. Mother and daughter. I believe these are immortal. I think they're about 200 years old, and the mother's a prostitute, and they belong to a, I might be getting this wrong, they belong to a vampire sect that is mainly male, and if word gets out that these two are part of that, then there will be trouble. So they try to blend in, and that's that. Byzantium. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it, and sticking to the end as well. It says 23 minutes. Oh, I'll have to cut some of this out. Click the bell down below to be notified of further videos. Give it a thumbs up if you would. That helps the channel, and subscribe if you haven't. It's all for free. And then I will, well, not then I will get on with the C's and the D's, and maybe the E's, depending on how many is in each, really. And hopefully I'll be joined by my daughter, because she's away at the moment and she's got a bad cold. No, it's not the coronavirus. Well, I don't think so anyway. So maybe another one this week. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.